My name is Father Jim Yeakel. I'm an oblate of St. Francis de Sales. That's a religious order in the Catholic Church, and some of you may be familiar with passing the seminary farm on Blue Ball Road, and that's kind of where I got my start in my oblate life. Well, I arrived March 1st, 2014, and so as of this past March 1st, I've been here 8 years, and so now I am 3 months and 10 days into my 9th year of being here as pastor. Well, the two areas that I've worked in were teaching, but the kind of teaching I did was I taught pastoral courses. And so a lot of my clinical social work background, especially in training seminarians how to listen, in supervising and reflecting on their interactions so that they can kind of, in some ways, get out of their heads and into where people are. I taught crisis intervention courses for pastors and priests, sisters, and so teaching, and most of my teaching when I was in the Washington area was at the graduate level. And then at the other kind of major part of my calling was to actually do therapy. And so I've worked at 2 psych hospitals in my time, and had a whole breadth of clients, with lay and clergy in the years that I was doing that kind of work in Washington. Well, I was the associate pastor at our Mother of Consolation Parish in Chestnut Hill section of Philadelphia. And at that time, I actually thought I was going to stay there for a while. But about 2.5 years into my time at our Mother of Consolation in Philly, the Bishop of Wilmington approached our provincial and asked him if there are any oblates who might be interested in coming to Elkton and working here at Immaculate Conception. And when the provincial approached me about that, after we talked, I just had all of these memories of my early years, which actually took place here in Cecil County and down along the banks of the Elk River. For about 5 summers, I was a camp counselor while I was going through the seminary. I learned how to sail, and I became a Red Cross sailing instructor in the process of working with the kids at camp. I have some absolutely wonderful memories. And then he said, okay, he and our personnel director at the time set up an appointment for me to come and meet Bishop Malooly. And so the Bishop Malooly could get to know me a little bit. So we did the interview, and about halfway through the interview, I discovered that I had been out to Garrett County in Maryland on a couple of vacations, and that was the part of Maryland that he was the auxiliary bishop for in Baltimore. And we started talking about Garrett County and some of his experiences there and some of my experiences there. And no matter what else we talked about, I think that's how I got the job here. I think the greatest gift that's been given to me in my role as pastor here over these past 8 years is an opportunity to grow and to handle challenges that, while the ministries that I've done in the past have had their challenges and their contributions to my own personal growth, I think where I needed it the most, I have been challenged to do here. And it's a hard, there are times when it's hard to stay in the journey, but I have always found that if I find that God's putting the help for me to do that in my path, and if I am not so blind as to not take that help, I think I have done a lot of growing in the role here as pastor. I think one of the most important early parts of the growth for me was to realize that I really don't have the option to hide. So I have to get out there and make it work as best I can. And I think I have done that, or at least done that as best I could, and have reaped some of the rewards of that. Because it in many ways it's the part of me that I think I was always looking for, but circumstances let me cheat. Elkton doesn't let me cheat. In this Easter season, I find a theme that keeps coming up for me to preach about is looking forward to Pentecost, looking forward to embracing the gifts that this new life from our baptism and our being part of a Catholic faith community brings to us. And I'm also excited to look at all of the things that we are doing and how to strengthen them, that are what we have in common as parish, what our tradition as a parish has led us to. There's a lot there. And the way things are in the world today, things that are still vitally needed, and that we have been, we are, and we will be a vehicle through which the Holy Spirit can work and touch lots of people's lives. And I'm excited about joining together to figure out what is the faith walk ahead of us.